Welcome to Reddit Giraffe. What is the stupidest way you almost died? I was at a Pink Floyd concert at the old Tampa Stadium, was going to get a beer. I got crushed against a wall, at the bottom of a stairway, when a rush of people came up the breezeway. I couldn't move, or breathe, probably 100 or more people in a log jam. I'm not a big person, started to panic, looked up and a guy looked over the rail above me. He started yelling to me to reach for his hand, he leaned way over and grabbed my hand and pulled me up like 8 or 9 feet, and over the rail. Took a few minutes to get a breath. He had the security guy get the medic to check me over. Freaky close to a very bad ending. Jumping into piles of leaves as a child, and when I was 28 I was visiting my mom and she had a pile of leaves in the yard, so for shits and giggles I jumped into the pile of leaves, to which I discovered was hiding a bear trap which my elderly mother had placed that morning to try and catch a skunk. 79 stitches and a broken arm that was almost amputated because of how bad the break was. This doubles as a PSA to only jump in leaf piles you have made yourself. My homie's autistic brother was in the deep end of a wave pool. He can't swim without floaties. So he called for help and I jumped in. As I was trying to swim with one hand and carry him with the other, I heard a siren for the big wave that happens every few minutes. So I tried to quickly swim away, but it caught up and pushed us under. I accidentally tried to breathe and that put quite a bit of water in me. Just then I felt someone grab me and pull me out of the water. It was my homie. And he also grabbed his brother. So after I threw up a bunch of water and rested a bit, I realized that I almost died in a wave pool. I almost drowned in the sea as a kid. A current pushed me away from the shore. Lifeguards saved me and were slapping my face. I thought it was a punishment, but they were resuscitating me. Almost got my head squashed by a car due to a small pebble making me fall on the main road. I was at a water park in Texas with one of those super tall, straight down slides. They had multiple signs saying things like "Do not push off before sliding down." Me being an 18-year-old idiot and wanting to race my friend, I decided to push off. That extra push started my slow-motion, airborne flight over the slide. I was then staring 100 feet down at concrete and my other friend who had his jaw open. What felt like minutes later, I smacked back down onto the slide and made my way down to the bottom. Thank God for the engineers that planned for suicidal idiots like myself. Cut my inner ankle on a glass cup. For those who don't know, an artery is there and I literally sliced through it. Almost bled out. Thankfully didn't though. Going down the wooden stairs at my parents' house wearing socks, slipped on the last step and banged my head on the wall. Woke up 3 hours later with doggo by my side desperately licking my ear. Never told my parents. I was at Lake Bled in Slovenia and thought I could easily swim the distance between the shore and the island in the middle with the church on it. Boy was I wrong. About halfway I started getting exhausted and had trouble staying afloat. Then my body kicked into survival mode, the adrenaline started pumping, and I Michael Phelpsed the rest of the way to the island. I ended up paying €5 to have a boat take me back to shore after that harrowing experience. While drunk, I sat down outside to rest for a moment on a freezing cold winter's night. Fortunately, a passerby noticed me and encouraged me to get inside. I figure I was probably there dozing for several minutes. I walked into a backroom freezer of a grocery store. The huge door was designed to close automatically. I knew this and went in and did what I was there to do. After 30 seconds, I couldn't catch my breath. I thought maybe I was just working too hard, so I stopped and took several huge breaths. Nothing. I felt like I was drowning out of water. I had to move as quickly as I could back outside of the freezer and feel to my knees gasping when I got out. It was only afterwards I realized for some dumb reason someone kept open dry ice in a cart inside of the freezer. Dry ice removes oxygen out of the air in enclosed spaces. I almost died from lack of oxygen and would have been an icicle when they found me. Don't mess with dry ice. I coughed. Dislocated my C1, C2 vertebrae and spent 6 months in a body halo. IDK, how close to death that counts, but be careful when you cough. Came very close, about 2 inches, to backing into a warehouse rack full of 2-ton coils of sheet metal when I didn't realize that my forklift was in reverse. Unplugging the washing machine with wet hands. My hand slipped onto the prongs while they were still partially in the outlet, and I think my heart stopped for a second before I yanked the plug free. Definitely do not recommend. I was in 2nd or 3rd grade. I was getting off the school bus and was walking around to the other side to my driveway. Suddenly the bus driver hits the horn, scared the hell out of me, and I stopped at the edge of the front of a bus and a dump truck good speeding around. I don't know if the dump truck driver didn't see the lights of the bus or whatever, but that driver made a dumb mistake that could have cost me my life. Thinking about it, my older sister was up at her driveway waiting for me, probably would have messed her up for life. After that the school district changed bus routes to avoid students having to cross the road to get on or off the bus.